to another edition of Wholesome Words Live. I'm Joanne Hoy, the founder creator of Wholesome Words, and today I have with me a couple more people, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Introduce yourself, Lex. What's your name?
My name is Lex.
Okay. Is that it? That's all we have? Oh.
And
my name is Precious.
Okay,
and I'm their mother. I'm Andi.
Nice to be able to see you guys. So, welcome to Wholesome Words. I see, Andi, you employed a couple more people in your crew to join us tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm super excited because tonight we are talking about fall expectations. And I have some fall expectations. So if you're listening and you have some fall expectations, go ahead and put something in the chat, and we'll see what your fall expectations are. But my fall expectations after a wonderful summer, and so if you missed us last month, I was on a cruise to Bermuda, Turks and Caicos, and perfect day at Coco Cay when we could have had this, but we took a little time off for some R&R and get some rest and relaxation going on. And so we're back. Fall expectations. This fall, I have so many expectations. One is to just keep it going and finish up this year with some excitement. For those of you that don't know, I have this one on Friday nights, the third Friday of every month. And then on the third Saturday of every month, I have another Wholesome Words event, but it's in person and it's called Wholesome Words Unsung. And we say unsung because you don't have to have it polished and pretty. You just need to be wanting to share and maybe get some feedback on how to improve it and stuff like that. So if that's something that you're interested in and you're in the Temecula area, hey, come on through. But tomorrow, what's exciting is that I will be hosting or conducting a spoken word poetry slam workshop where I'll be discussing some of the different things that you could prepare for a spoken word slam. And so tomorrow's workshop will kick off the rest of the months that we have. So in October, we will kick off our qualifying event and see who participates. And so, Andi, are you participating?
You know it. And Precious, didn't you say something that you're going to do something today?
She said,
what? Are you going to participate in the poetry slam too? Oh, you got to do 4 poems. Can't just do one. Okay. Today, she told me, she's like, I'm going to participate too. I was like, oh, really? Do you already have 4 poems already written? And she's like, yeah, I already have. Well, I have 2 poems. I was like, okay. That's a start.
So qualifying rounds will be in October and November, and then the finals will be held in December. So December 21st, a couple days before Christmas, that magic day, or Christmas Eve, because some people like Christmas Eve better than Christmas Day. Either one. On the 21st of December, oh my gosh, we will be hosting the final. So I invite anyone that's there. I'm gonna try and see if I can have it live so people can experience it. I'll work on some of that techie stuff next month. But that's what I'm really excited about. I'm really excited that this year for Wholesome Words Unsung mostly, we've learned a little bit more about spoken word, and a lot of people are kind of like shy and they're like when the daunting part of participating in any type of poetry slam is memorization, and then memorization and adding performance art to it, whether it's your voice or gestures or things like that. Those are the things that make your poetry competition for others. So I'm gonna have our particular poetry slam be just a little different. Usually in standard poetry slams, they're not gonna have background music because they just want to hear you, and you need to be able to bring it. So, but with ours, I kind of like a little music. And so our theme that we're doing that I'm super, super excited about is from That's My King, a sermon that's so poetic, from Reverend Dr. S.M. Lockridge at the Calvary Baptist Church in San Diego. And so that was my pastor when I lived in San Diego. And I was there when he released It's Friday, but Sunday's Coming. And then Seven Way King and That's My King. And so Christmas time, we celebrate a king and we celebrate a risen king. And so we'll be kind of integrating some prose and from the original poetry and then going from there. So pretty excited about what that's going to bring. So tomorrow is the workshop to kind of go through the nitty gritty of what people need to be prepared for. But in July, I made this announcement to the crew at Unsung. And so Andi has been working on it. And so Andi, what has been your prep? How are you been trying to memorize and work through and write all this stuff? Could you share a little bit?
For me, it's been a challenge because I know that you suggested for me to be the sacrificial lamb, correct?
No, you may be the sacrificial lamb.
Okay, maybe. So
right, and so if you're competing on October or November, you are not the sacrificial lamb.
Oh, okay.
Right. So
then I won't have to.
If you compete on October when it starts, then you cannot be the sacrificial lamb.
Oh, okay.
So, but if you don't compete because you won October and you don't compete in November, then you can be the sacrificial lamb. And for those that are listening, the sacrificial lamb is someone that's not competing in the competition. So it just depends if you're going to wait till November to compete or you're going to wait till October to compete. But sacrificial lamb is some poet that has a poem that they just want to really just throw it out there, basically to help the judges get their calibration on how they think their scores should be. And so that's the point of the sacrificial lamb, basically just to help the scorekeeper.
Oh, okay. Well, that clears up everything because I was like, how am I going to memorize 5 poems?
Right. And you don't. And the sacrificial lamb has nothing to do with the qualifying one. So that's a great question. So it could be one of whatever poems that you've done before, and it's just basically to help the judges kind of score and kind of get kind of a tenor of how they feel the scores are, and also to help the people that are who are watching to see like, whoa, that was really good, so you need to bring it, you know what I'm saying? So that's the point of the sacrificial lamb. So
and it's only
if you worked on a 5th one, then that might be a tiebreaker. You can decide if you want to throw that one out as a tiebreaker. So it just depends.
And it's only for people that are not going to compete, correct?
Sacrificial lamb is they're not competing to qualify for the competition.
Got it. Nice.
Yeah. So, but they need to bring it so that the judges can get their scoring cards together and things like that. Things that we'll probably practice tomorrow so people can kind of understand the flow. I've kind of just briefly talked about it, and that's why I decided to have a workshop before we start the qualifying round, just so people are clear on expectation and it's fair.
That makes sense. Thank you for clarifying for that.
Sure, no problem. So you have, in other words, you have 5 poems ready, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because I you know how I usually do a poem every month for Wholesome Words Unsung, so that was going to be the sacrificial poem, and then for the 4 poems based off of the inspiration of That's My King, correct? I was gonna do those with that involved, but that takes a little bit less pressure off of me.
Right. And I'm glad you asked that question. So clarity will be our friend, and we will review the point of the sacrificial lamb. And in case I forget, remind me so that everyone's clear on that. So the sacrificial lamb still has to have their poem memorized. So it's not like you're getting up there we're not doing a poetry read. We're doing a slam. So it's kind of like poetry boxing, and you kind of go through different rounds. So we'll see what happens in October, but those are great questions. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
So yeah, so you have so many poems that you can just pull out your pocket to do the sacrificial lamb. So I'm not worried about that. But your prep for That's My King, how has that been?
I noticed that
helpful. What's been, I don't know.
I can say that with one of the poems that I have edited with the inspiration of That's My King, it's been challenging because it's really long, and I know the limit is 3 minutes, correct? So I have to
3 minutes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I have to condense it. And then I, excuse me, I have, I believe 2 other poems that I plan to work on to get more extra points for That's My King. Because you said for the Poetry Slam, if you have, what is it, the sayings or words that reflect That's My King, then you get extra points, correct?
Right. If you're taking prose straight out of S.M. Lockridge's poem, so again, he says, "That's my king." So if you've incorporated the exact words of "That's my king" or other prose that's in the poem, yes, you get extra points for that. Correct.
And that's what I plan to do on pretty much 3 of them, and then just have one by itself.
Okay. All right. So that's probably a great way to prepare. And so, yep, that's my fall expectation. So October is, tomorrow, we'll start there. Tomorrow is a poetry workshop to kind of give people the flow of what to expect. So they're not just saying, okay, now what happens next? So that they kind of have an understanding, so we can get a little normalcy to like, this is how we do it. So that'll be tomorrow, giving people time. So one of the things that I took in consideration is that with Andi, she learned to memorize her poems because that's what you do. You're going to do it, you're going to do it right. So she's been memorizing poems for whatever. And when she comes to Wholesome Words Unsung, the unsung events, everybody just sits there with their mouth dropped open, including myself, like going, oh my gosh, this is the same person that keeps growing. But the strength in her having the poems memorized gives that much more. And we were blessed to have a workshop in May, I think it was. And another friend of mine worked on how you play music in the background and you wait for the pauses. So it's not all staccato, this is how we do it or whatever. You find the rhythm. There's power in the pause. And so incorporating that and encouraging people kind of led me to say, well, let's try to do our own poetry slam. But I like the music in the background. I like the flavor of it. And so we just are going to start our own type of poetry slam, and there's a standard way of doing it, and then there's just going to be the Wholesome Words Unsung way of doing it. So the name of the slam is called Clean Spit. And so I'm excited about just kind of inching my way in there. I'm thinking now, kind of on second thought, actually, I probably should have stretched it out a little bit. But for our first time to kind of just get the constructs together, I think it's okay. And so tomorrow's the spoken word poetry. So if you're in town in Temecula, we're at the New Hope Community Church off of Jefferson. We kick off at 6:00. And we're there till we get it right, I guess. And then next month, super excited. So next month, when you're back here, we can kind of talk about the workshop and what happened and how we made us feel and stuff. Because I think it's going to be the same, where it's like Wholesome Words Live on Friday night. And then the very next night will be the launch of the qualifying rounds for that. So a lot of expectations for that. So excited about that. And then in November, last November, we had, was called Thanks and Giving Jubilee. So the person in charge of that, her name is Tiffany Greenwood, and she's trying to coordinate it. And I said, well, this year we'll be kind of mixing in the qualifying rounds for November. So whoever won in October doesn't have to compete again in November. So we're going to play this out and see what happens. I'm just trusting God. We're just going to just give it a whirl and see what happens. And then December will be the finals. So the Jubilee will be mixed in. So there'll be music, kind of a concert-like thing. I'm not sure how it's all going to work together, but I'm going to figure it out. You know, that's right. And then in December is the finals for the Spoken Word Poetry Slam of That's My King, celebrating Jesus, the birth of Christ, and all that other good stuff. So I have some fall expectations, and I'm super excited about it. And so I just wanted to share with you that each month we'll have kind of a follow-up of what happened, what it felt like and stuff, because I think Andy is competing in October. Are you doing October or November?
I plan on doing both. Can I do the same poems, or how does that work?
Once you qualify and you're the winner of that particular round, you don't compete again until the finals.
Oh, okay. So I compete in October, right? And then if I win that competition, then
if you win in October, then you don't compete again until December.
Oh, until December. Oh, okay. That makes sense now.
Yeah, so that's why there's 2 qualifying events, October, and we'll see who is victor. If there's, first place, then next month in November, we'll have another round for interested persons to want to compete. And then hopefully we have a couple people. And then in December, then it's the face-off with those that won either qualifying in October or who qualified in November. Does that make sense?
Yes. Precious actually had a question about the Poetry Slam.
Yes. How can I help you?
Do we get a prize?
I'm working on that. If you do, I'm working with my board to discuss that even as we speak. So I can't share that information quite yet, but the goal is to get some type of prize or some type of recognition to be the first Wholesome Words Slam, whatever winner. So I am looking at that. That's a great question. I am looking at that. Anything else?
I think that's all.
That's it. Okay, so Not sure how to do this, but I know that Precious and Mr. Lex have shared with me their some of their drawings. So Wholesome Word Lives, we love all kind of different arts because God created us to do all kinds of different creative things. And so I think Precious has been on a couple times already, but she's mostly widely known at least at the unsung events, and people sit there with their mouth open saying, oh my gosh. So I'm going to find a couple of pictures. Hold on just a minute. And then Precious, you can take over and share what it is. We'll start with this one. Okay, that's one here. I don't know why it does this all the time. Let's get this down. Okay, so we have that. And we're going to add this to the screen and you're going to tell me about it. Okay, add. All right, let's talk about this.
It's so what I drew is ice cream in a cup.
Okay.
And I did mint chocolate chips pistachio and vanilla and chocolate and blueberry with a cherry and a leaf to represent fall.
Oh, a leaf. Okay. All right. That looks kind of yummy. Okay, well, so what inspired you to do that?
What inspired me to draw this was because I love ice cream.
That's always a great inspiration. I'm not sure, you scream ice cream, we all scream for ice cream. Yeah, it's a good thing. Okay, that's really good. Let me find another one. Hold on just a second. Oops. Let's see. No. Okay, and then let me find this one. Hold on. Doing all kind of fun. Oh yeah. Here we go. Let's see if this one's better. Okay, no, I like this view better. Okay, let's talk about this one.
So what I drew is Jenna Ortega Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. Okay. All right. And what was the inspiration? Could you talk a little bit about the drawing and who she is, just in case people don't know?
My inspiration to draw this was because she's my favorite Netflix character.
Okay. All right. And what's the show that she's on, or?
It's just called Wednesday.
It's just called Wednesday. Okay. All right. And why this particular picture?
Because I like how I could do the shading.
Okay. What were you using? What were some of the things your tools that you use?
I used colored pencils and
Use colored pencils for this one?
yeah, like black. Just like, actually no, I use a black mechanical pencil.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And then I used a Posca marker for the eyes.
Okay.
And a black marker for the lips.
All right. Okay. It looks a little gruesome to me. I don't think I'd be watching this show. This looks scary all by itself. So let's get your other one. I'm not sure why it keeps doing that. Let's get the last one. Pa, 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 pa. This one, yeah, this one's kind of, here we go. Okay, let's talk about this one.
So I drew Olivia Rodrigo.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what brought you to do that one?
Brought me to do that one. To draw that Olivia Rodrigo because she's my favorite celebrity.
Okay, okay. And who is Olivia Rodrigo?
She's a famous singer.
Okay, and where is this picture taken from?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, okay, so when you drew this picture, where did you take the where did you get the inspiration, or where did you get the picture from to draw it?
From YouTube.
Okay, okay, all right, okay. And so, what were some of the equipment that you used on this one?
I used a black mechanical pencil, and I used a ruler, and I used Posca markers for the colors.
Okay. All right. This one is pretty scary to me too. Sour. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Well, very, very good. It looks like you've been busy this last couple of months. And so that's just exciting. Thank you for sharing that information. Anything else you'd like to say to people who might want to draw?
Never give up.
Never give up. Okay, that's some good encouraging words. Just keep trying, huh? Okay. Never give up. Okay. Thank you so much. That's better. All right. Okay. So I understand that we have pictures from Lex. Lex, are you there?
He's coming.
All right. I'll get his picture ready. So we have okay. Let's hear. All right, let's look. Okay, Lex, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Okay, tell me about this picture.
It's about the smiling Quiddles.
The smiling who?
The smiling Quiddles.
Okay, all right. And so it looks like there's two different pictures. Am I missing something? Is it two pictures? No?
No.
Okay. Okay. So could you identify who the Criddles are? What are their names?
One name is Catnap, Happy Hopscotch, Bobby Bear Hug, Crafty Corn, Bubba Fett, Dog Day, Piggy. Yeah.
Whoa, you drew all of those people on this one picture?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay, great job. Great job. And so did you use crayons or did you use pencils?
I use crayons.
Okay, for all of them?
And I use some marker.
Okay, you used some markers. Okay, all right. Okay, that looks kind of cool there. Some markers and crayons. What do you like best, the markers or the crayons?
I like the Queen.
Okay, you like the crayons. Okay, great job. Great job. Okay, let me find the next one. Hold on. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. I think this is the next one. It is. Okay, so here we go. Okay, tell me about this picture.
There's like it's from Poppy Playtime again. There's another one, and those
It's from what, sweetie? It's from where?
Poppy Playtime.
Poppy Playtime. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and those Daisy Kicking Chicken from Smiling Crittles, and the prototype, and then we got Poppy.
Oh, and Poppy in there. Okay. You look like you got about 4 or 5 different people up in there. Is that right?
Yeah.
Which one is your favorite?
I like the prototype.
Oh, okay. All right. That's your favorite. Okay. That looks really good. Okay. Anything else about this that you like about what you drew?
I also like the Daisy and the Poppy little.
Okay. So why did you draw these? What was your inspiration?
Because I really like it, and I really wanted to do it because it was nice.
Oh, okay.
That would be cool.
It is cool. That's really good. That's really good. You're doing really well from what we talked about just not too long ago. You're doing really well. Okay, let me
Thank
get
you.
get the last one. Okay, hold on. Oh, that's it. Okay. Hold on. Okay, now what about this one?
There's Huggy Wuggy,
Huggy Wuggy.
and then Bunzo Bunny, Playo, Mommy Longlegs, and then Nightmare, Huggy,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and then and then PJ Pillow.
Oh, okay, okay. You look like you got at least 4 or 5 of them up there yet again. So these are all buddies. Is that what these are?
These are they're like monsters, but
Monsters. Okay.
the player is not a monster, and he's like a guy trying to escape from the Poppy Playtime factory.
Oh, okay. Does he ever get away?
Yeah, this goes to like different chapters, chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3, chapter 4.
Oh.
There's a lot of chapters, and when you get to the boss,
Uh-huh.
the boss is the prototype.
Oh, okay. All right. And what's a prototype?
The prototype is like a little really scary guy,
Yeah.
and he likes to like steal like he likes to try to bring the Poppy Playtime candles back to life.
Oh, okay. So is he a nice guy or he's not a nice guy?
Well, he's only a nice guy to the Poppy Playtime candles, but he's not nice to Playo.
Oh no. Okay, so is this from a book that you're reading?
No, it's from like YouTube.
YouTube. Okay. Okay, I'll have to check these monsters out. Okay, so Lex, do you like to draw?
Huh?
Do you like to draw?
Yeah.
Okay, and so did you use crayons? Looks like what did you use? Crayons and markers again?
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. You did a very, very, very good job. Anything else you want to say to other kids that may be looking at Poppy
Playtime.
Playtime? I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me. Is there anything else you want to say to people, other kids that may be watching that about Poppy Playtime and how you like to color them or draw them?
Not really.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Lex and Precious. You guys did an excellent job in sharing your work and your art. I'm going to encourage you to just keep going and keep, doing what you do so that you can inspire other people. So thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay. All right. So is your mom nearby?
Thank you.
You are very much welcome. You're very much welcome. Hopefully I see you tomorrow at the workshop. Are you going to be there at the workshop tomorrow?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you in person. Yep. Is your mom there?
Yes.
Does your mom have a poem? Do you know?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are positive? What's the name of the poem?
Despite our situations, there is joy.
Despite our situations, there is joy. All right. Okay. Well, Andy, if you'd like to come on and do your poem, that'll be great.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So this poem is called Despite Our Situations, There is Joy. Be blessed and enjoy. Whatever trials or tribulations we go through, we can always seek to delight in God's essence, which is continually new. At times, we will experience joy in our lives on the path that God has us on, shining bright at the break of dawn. When these joyous times in our lives come by, it's as easy as moving one foot in front of the other, no matter what comes next, or even taking normal breaths. We will have periods in our lives that will be murky and hazy that will cause us strife. We will experience stress on this road that God has us on, feeling like it will never end. Passing by lifeless, shaded stones resembles our lives as they call to our eyes. Having the bottom of our feet sore, treading on uneven road. However, joy is freely accessible. We must find it as though we are looking for buried riches. Let us remind ourselves that this is the day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad. It's not by chance or coincidence, a call to our minds that God is always with us. Whether we are aware of God's essence or don't sense it, we can always have a conversation with our King at any moment of the day or night. With anything that we are thinking, let's celebrate the truth that God knows us more than we will ever know ourselves. He's the one who created us and continues to tell us how fearfully and wonderfully made we are as we continue to stride as we grow. God knows exactly what we're going through. That's why we must keep a consistent communication with him and having his mindset as our front view. Then our character will slowly begin changing and improving with each step of faith that we take, acknowledging our King's glorious love as it inspires joy in our darkest times evermore.
Wow. That was pretty deep.
Yes.
That was pretty deep. That was nice.
Thank you.
Made me stop and think. And it was like I was kind of chewing on your words, and before I could, it was really deep. It was really deep. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I'll need to remember the joy in our lives and what's going on. So thank you for sharing that. What inspired you to do that?
So I wrote this back in October 2021, and I've come to understand that when God has placed these poems in my life, and when sorry, my son. Not right now, baby. Okay. Okay. Go. And so when I have these poems lined up each month, and I notice that with each poem that's lined up each month, it has to do with something that I'm going through that season. So this season in my life, I went through a lot of trials and tribulations that really caused me emotional and mental distress. And so I have to hold on to these poems that really bring me life, really bring me joy, and really help me to meditate on God's truth. And so this really helped me to remember that there is still joy, that joy is accessible, that we have the ability to freely access it if we just go to Jesus, if we go to God. He is our joy. It says in the Bible, the joy of the Lord is our strength. Right. The joy of the Lord is our strength. So when we abide in Jesus, when we continue to follow him and continue to keep a communication that's consistent, we have to continue to pray. Like it says in Thessalonians 15, 1 Thessalonians 15 and 16, rejoice always, pray continually, and be thankful in all circumstances. So that really helped me to get through this season of my life of trials and tribulations. And I've always wondered, I said, Lord, I remember it was a couple days ago, I opened my daughter's Bible. You know how when sometimes we'll just open up the Bible randomly and then the Holy Spirit will speak through us during that time through a scripture? I kid you not, I opened up the Bible and it was talking about trials and tribulations. It was talking about how suffering and pain and why we have to go through that. And I asked God, I said, why am I going through all this pain and suffering? And God says, because I want you to depend on me. I want you to trust in me. And so when we're going through that suffering, we need to depend on him, and we go running to our Father in heaven. And so that helped me to have a clear understanding, say, Lord, I understand, and I trust in you. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful because I'm growing, I'm evolving, I'm becoming stronger. My faith is becoming stronger. So I inspire and I encourage and I uplift others who are going through the pain, through that season right now, to not give up, to keep hope of life, and to keep our trust in God. He has everything in control. He has everything in control. Do not worry. Like it says in Ephesians, I believe 4 and 6, do not be anxious about anything. Do not be anxious about anything, but with prayer and petition and thanksgiving, make your requests known to God, and the peace that passes all understanding will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So, God is good.
Sounds like there's a lot. There's a lot.
A lot.
I'm thinking that, I'd like to probably hear that poem. but I would like it to have a little music to it.
Of course.
And I need to probably have you. It was like whoosh. And so a lot of the things that you said, I could hardly catch on to the next one because the other nugget was just so good that just the syncopation just a little bit slower so that you just said it, be anxious for nothing.
Right.
And I think that just a little slower syncopation and some pauses, because a lot of the stuff that you're saying is not like, you just drank some Kool-Aid and then it's over. There's a minute, or what is it, pause for power?
Yes. Power in the pause.
There's power in the pause.
Yes.
And so when you have time, maybe think about adding some music that gives power in the pause. Because I know that you're kind of used to like, and that's good. But at the same time, there's some messages that I believe that God wants people to hear, but because there's no pause, it's like, did you hear it? And it may not have been all that they could have gotten out of it. So just a suggestion of adding a little bit more creativity.
Yeah, sure.
So thank you for sharing that. So for whatever reason, I'm trying to be obedient here. The last time, I think in July, I don't know if it was July. When was it when the angel came? Was that July when angel came, or was that June?
Angel? Oh, the angel. You're talking about, what was his name? Oh,
Richard?
Yes.
Raymond,
right?
was that July or was that? No, that was July.
Yeah.
Because that's when I did the workshop.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
June or July?
Say again?
June or July? Well, anyway, could you share what you saw or what you experienced? Because that was a workshop. That was it must have been July then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's when I did the poetry workshop.
Yes.
Could you share what you experienced?
With the angel? So I remember before July, right? I think it was a month prior to that, or 2 months prior to that, that he came.
April or March? One of those. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that he came, right? And I remember he's the one actually gave me the advice that there's power. Was it him that gave me the advice that there's power in the pause? I think it was him. And he first found Wholesome Words Unsung through the images on Google. It was his first time actually coming to an event for spoken word, open mic. And for some reason, I thought you knew him, that you guys were like best friends and that, had all this long history. But to my surprise, that was the first time meeting him as well. And so, but his demeanor, his presence was so calming. It was very calming. It was very welcoming. And he was very intuitive when I was doing one of my poems that time when I was ministering, doing spoken word. It seems like he was just in depth into the poem, and he wanted more and more and more, and he couldn't get enough of it, that he was willing to share his thoughts and his advice that I definitely took as constructive criticism, and I took it and I ran with it so that I can continue to grow. As time went by, and when the open mic was over, he said he's going to come back and he's going to bring people. And so I was like, yeah, come on back, you know. As time went by, the months came and we didn't see Raymond, we didn't see the angel. So of course to you, right, Joanne, you thought he was an angel, right? You're like, that was an angel that was sent from God. And you know, people are sent from God, you know, whether they're angels or not, but we can always I would say look to them as angels or feel them as angels, or receive them as angels. And so when he actually did come back in July, I think we were all shocked. We were all shocked. We were amazed. We were overjoyed. And he brought I believe his wife and his son, as well as his son's girlfriend. And during this time, he shared some personal things about how his son deals with anxiety, and that he wanted to express this feeling that his son has been having, and to feel that he felt safe. He felt safe to share this experience that his son is going through with all of us there, and also with the son's girlfriend. She was actually shy, and she was kind of timid and kind of, you know, wishy-washy on trying to see whether she should share her poems, because during that time we didn't know that she had a gift in poetry. But I believe that going through the motions and going through the time that we were there at open mic, it opened her up. It allowed her to feel safe. And so she was actually encouraged to go up and to share a poem that was very dear to her heart. During this time, after the poem, after the poetry workshop and the open mic, she actually came to me and confided in me. And she said that she was really inspired and encouraged by how I continue to push forward and I continue to grow in what I do in spoken word poetry. And she was willing to say, hey, you know, can we exchange phone numbers? Can you pray for me? And I prayed over her, and she said, that's the first time you've ever prayed over me. So I thought it was just an amazing experience, just to embody that that feeling of closeness, that feeling of encouraging others who are down in the pit, that don't know where they're going. And I believe God gave me the word to the son, that to not be anxious about anything. We go back to that scripture: do not be anxious about anything, and to tell him to place that, you know, on his wall or wherever he is, so that he can meditate on it and have it in his heart. Because it says in the Bible, when we have our scripture in our heart, you know, we can be able to use it against the devil as a weapon. Because we have to have the full armor of God on us: the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, the sword of the spirit, the belt of truth, and the shoes of peace. And so we have to protect our minds. And so I thought it was just an amazing experience how Raynham came back with his wife, his son, and the son's girlfriend. And I hope to see him again next month.
So have you been able to work with her?
She did text me, and she did want to have me go over like a poem with her. She hasn't texted me since then, but she did say that she wanted me to work on a poem with her that she wanted to write. So since then, I haven't heard from her, but I'm hoping that she's still willing to reach out and to try like she did last time. But I'm excited. I'm very excited.
All right. So a lot of fall expectations. Hopefully, the angel who seemed to just come out of nowhere and just find us, and he was amazing. So Raymond was amazing. So like I said, last month we were off for Unsung, but tomorrow we're back on for a poetry workshop, I guess number 2, but it's to prepare everyone. So the expectations is to get an answer, give people opportunity to maybe do snippets of what they have, get some feedback, so that they are really ready for October when we start our first qualifying round. And so every month we'll keep you guys posted and share the updates. I've been working on making sure I have enough time for everyone to kind of play with, maybe ask questions, get up, share, little snippets of what they had, like teasers, just give a little tease and get some feedback or suggestions and ideas to improve it. So we'll see what happens. I have no idea, as I never know who's going to come, but God knows our hearts and our minds, and so in Him I trust. So I'm excited about tomorrow. I'm prepared, and it's been a nice week to just focus in on that and put things in order. So I don't have anything else to share. I want to again thank Adi and Lex and Precious for sharing their gifts and talents and their just willingness to just share what touches their heart and inspires them, because you never know how God is going to use that for something else. And I learned about I forgot the girl's name, whatever, starts with a P, but I learned about that YouTube. Whatever, Peggy Power something. Lex said.
What, Poppy Playtime?
Oh, Poppy Playtime. Yes, he corrected me at least 20 times.
That?
I learned about Poppy Playtime and the monsters and the prototypes and all those other things. So you can see how art influences us on so many different ways.
Yes.
So thank you again. Next month, we'll have at least kind of a discussion on how our poetry workshop went right before we hit October for the first qualifying round. So stay tuned. I want to thank everybody. God bless. And we are out tonight. Good night, everybody.
Good night.